Hi, and welcome to Waco ISD TV, where today we are sitting here with Mr. Israel Carrera, who is the new Assistant Superintendent of Operations here at Waco ISD. Welcome, Mr. Carrera, and thank you so much for joining us today. Can you start out a little bit just by telling us about maybe where you grew up and where your family is from?
Sure. I was born and raised in Artesia, New Mexico, to Manuel and Felipa Carrera. I'm one of 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. My parents were, my dad was a minister all his life, or all my life, and so grew up in a Christian home, Assembly of God, and it was great. I think my dad went to 8th grade and my mom went to 3rd grade, but they were big believers in education.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit, from growing up in New Mexico, tell us a little bit about where your educational path took you after you graduated from high school.
Well, after I graduated from high school, I went to play ball in Austin College and went there, and then once I finished there, went to work and coached and taught for about 10, 11 years. Really enjoyed it. Got to know kids, made relationship with kids, and built some great relationship with kids. We still stay in contact to this day, and so it's been an awesome profession, and I really enjoyed it.
When you say you went to play ball, what was your sport of choice?
Football.
Oh, okay.
Football.
What position?
Linebacker. So.
When you moved on to coaching, is that also the sport that you coached?
I did. I coached football and powerlifting.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
Really great.
After you spent some time on the field as a coach and in the classroom as a teacher, what prompted you to want to move up into the administrative level of education?
Well, actually, I didn't have a goal to be an administrator. I had gone back to get my master's because in the state of Texas, all the head coaches told me that in order to be a head coach at a large school, you would have to have your management degree, and so that's when I went to get my master's, and that's where I met Dr. Nelson.
Okay.
And it was through Dr. Nelson that I believe we crossed paths for this purpose, that he got me into administration.
Awesome. So after you then kind of made that segue into the administrative level, what are some differences that you have seen from kind of being in the classroom or on the field in that regard versus being at the administrative level? How has that made a difference in how you viewed your role in education?
I think a big part is that in the position that I'm in now, I understand the needs of the campuses because I was there. I was a teacher and I was a coach and I was an assistant principal and a principal. And so the urgency as a school administrator or a teacher, I knew the importance of that. And when it wasn't done, then my kids were focused on other things than what they should have been focused. And so now as an administrator and in charge of operations and facilities, I understand that the importance when it's a work order or something from the campus level, that I really need to get to it because I know that those kids need to stay focused and not let the facilities part of it be a distraction for them.
You touched a little bit on, the building and facilities. Can you tell us a little bit about what all your new role encompasses as operations?
Yes, it'll encompass the maintenance and the custodial, the child nutrition, and construction. And so those would be the major, and transportation
okay.
would be also one. So those are our major roles, which is a handful.
Kind of the literal nuts and bolts of our school district sometimes.
Correct.
Well, tell us a little bit about, you've been in Waco for just under a week now. You've been with the district here. This is kind of your first segue into life in Waco and Waco ISD. What has been your first impression of either the district or the city itself?
What has really impressed me is that I was expecting a big backup of traffic, and I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't seen that at all. So that has really caught me off guard because I was expecting a heavy traffic, and it's a breath of fresh air to be able to travel or move along the highways and byways here in Waco and get to the places without any trouble.
We do have a couple of traffic lights that right around 5 o'clock you might have to sit through twice, but other than that, we're pretty light on traffic, which definitely makes it kind of one of the perks of our town. So, what is one of the goals that you have both for yourself, or for the department, or for the district at large as we start this new school year?
Well, for the departments, I really would like for our departments to be #1 in the state of Texas, in work orders and transportation, whatever that may be, whether that be no accidents going on in the district, or whether that be getting our kids on time to the class, or field trips or extracurricular activities. I want to make sure that we're on spot, that the problem doesn't lie with my department, that it was hopefully with nobody, but definitely not my department. That's one of my goals.
Right. Have you had a chance to kind of meet with all of the people who work in your departments that you oversee? Have you had a chance to get around to a few of them so far this week?
Yes, I did this week, but last week when I came down to visit, I did talk with all the department heads and got a feel for where they're going and what some of the things that are great that we need to share with the district and share with the community, and then things that I know that we need to work on. And so I'm looking forward to it and excited about working together and creating a great partnership with them.
Great. Well, we're excited to have you, and talked a little bit about how you've gotten from where you started to where you are as far as your career, but what specifically called you to be here in Waco at Waco ISD?
Well, to be honest, it was an opportunity to come back to work with Dr. Nelson. We worked together in Laredo, and in life you don't get second chances too often, and this opportunity to work with a great leader such as Dr. Nelson is what brought me back. The guy's amazing, and I just want to be a part and ride on his coattail and do what I can to help him be successful in wherever he goes.
Well, we're excited to have a team member on board who has that history with him as well. It's encouraging and it's exciting to know that he commands enough respect that people are willing to follow him to a new city, coming from, because you were previously in where?
Del Rio.
Del Rio. So to come all the way from Del Rio to Central Texas speaks very highly of him, as we're excited that he made that move, and we're excited that you chose to follow with him as well. Can you just tell a little bit about what is your leadership style? Since you are in an administrative role and you are overseeing different individuals and departments, how would you describe your leadership style?
People may argue that it's not this, but I see myself as a servant leader, that I want to serve in every area of my department so that they have the tools that they need to be successful. And so I like to be known as a servant leader, that I'll do whatever I can for whatever department so that the organization is successful.
Is there anything that you want to share with the Waco community at large who's watching this from home, or any in-district staff, anything about you as a person or you as a servant in the educational field, anything that you would like to share with us that we haven't touched on yet today?
Well, I'd just like to say that I'm excited about being here in Waco. Like I said, I'm a believer in Christ Jesus, and I think there's great things that are going to happen here. I know there's a mountain to climb, but I'm telling you what, we have a leader that's going to get us to the very top. It's going to take some work and it's going to be difficult, but when we climb to the top, everybody's going to be excited and be talking about how great of a district Waco ISD is.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you guys for watching us as we talked to Mr. Israel Carrera here this morning. And just thank you for taking the time to check out what's happening here at Waco ISD through Waco ISD TV. And when you see buses rolling down the streets, or you see buildings that are sparkling and shining, and you see kids with food in front of them at breakfast or lunch, just know that that is part of Mr. Carrera's position and the wonderful people that he oversees here at Waco ISD.